Well, I feel like seeds are trolling me recently, so I'm thinking we'll get like flippers, and that way swamp will be required early, and it'll just be like, yeah, Bob, the seed has helped to get you. All right, so we are now underway. The first chest has just a piece of heart.
Could always be worse. Could be something super trolly like mushroom.
Oh boy. Yeah, mushroom early is never fun because you don't want to use it until you can do the fake powder trick, but then again, the fact that it's early means you might have to.
And both the runners falling through the magical floating bush to the Uncle hole, and Uncle's got the bow.
All right, so it's archery day today in Hyrule.
Camp Hyrule, yes. Archery festival. Oh, and the Moon Pearl. That's a nice find.
All right, so the bow is always a nice thing to find early. It makes the trips into Pod and Eastern less painful, especially if one of them turns out to be a pendant. Yeah, the pendant crystal situation gets decided long before the weapon gets decided in the randomization process.
Both runners now, of course, going the traditional, I guess you could say, left side to get to the escape here. So there's not really actually a difference whether they go left side or right side. It's just a matter of preference, and most runners prefer to go to the left for whatever reason, and they find Ether in that first chest in the basement.
Yeah, Ether Medallion could, point you towards one of the dungeons. Also particularly useful against certain rooms if you end up having to go there under-equipped.
Indeed. And of course, walking past the giant hole in the ground that Hyrule Castle is apparently on top of, and making their way to this Green Knight over here.
I'm told that like 3 different versions of Hyrule Castle actually sank into the bottomless pit before they could make the 4th one actually stand up.
Gotcha. So it's built on the foundation of its ancestors. So you would think probably after the 3rd one you'd be like, maybe we should build this somewhere else.
Well, so they got 3 bombs in a chest, and then JCopes got an 8 bomb drop. So there we go.
Indeed, and those arrows will make quick work of the ball and chain guard, picking up the key for escape here, so they will not find that in the chest over here.
All right, so we're going to be making our way out of the escape as well. Now, JCopes actually ended up killing the guards down here, just because he attracted their attention. But that's where he got the 8 bomb drop, so.
Small difference, but it will help out getting into Hyrule, not necessarily into Hyrule, but getting into Kakariko and beyond. Especially if we end up with a rather rupee poor seed here, and Rywek's got to go and fish out some more rupees to get the bombs from the vendor.
All right. Now we get to go into the dark area. This area, of course, lit up for you, even without the lamp, just to make things a little more interesting. Otherwise, we'd have to put the lamp somewhere in the first part, and that's not that fun.
Yeah, we'll just go with it's Zelda. Zelda is the light of our lives, and she is lighting up the way for us. Or magic.
I'll take it.
Or magic. Yeah.
All right, so it's time for the true final boss of Escape. The Key Rat. See Rywek letting loose an arrow from the front. This sometimes it'll hit the rat as you head to the left.
Now we get to see what is in the chest. It's a bottle. It's a map. It's another bottle.
Well, bottles and burritos all around.
I think it's just
be like Taco Bell. You've got the different types of Mountain Dew and the burrito.
I was gonna say that, or it's just the wrapping paper that the bottles came in. Just throw it in a chest. No one will notice.
And here we are. A 554 when Rywek entered that door, and a 559 for JCopes.
Those are excellent times. I think the bow certainly helps with that, but yeah, sub 6 for both of them with that door is very, very nice.
Speaking of which, blue mail in that chest. Pretty wonderful spot, and we've got our map check. We've got 4 on Eastern, 5 at Hera and the Red Pendant at Desert Palace.
Which, of course, means that 2 of the pendants have been relocated to the Dark World, so including the green pendant. So we'll see where those end up.
And we see Rywek and JCopes going for 2 different major strategies here. Both of them got the tree pull there, which was bombs, but JCopes is going to be getting the information on the lumberjack hut, while I think Rywek is just going to forego that for now.
And it's just bombs, so nothing gained, nothing lost by not checking that.
Yeah. The only way it comes back to hurt Rywek is if he's desperately looking for things later and has to go out of his way to check that.
And Jacob's just passing up on the 50, I think probably because I'm going to pass up in the heart too. Interesting choice there, but not terrible.
Well, you know, if you can skip a thing, save you a couple of seconds here and there, because the race can come down to seconds, especially in these more evenly matched rounds.
Ooh, there's a silver arrow right there. Hiding out in
Well, the bow and silver is
head.
right off the bat.
Uh-huh.
That seems like a pretty good way to just massacre everything. And JCopes will not be hurt by skipping that 50 either, because the 300 rupees in Blind's hut.
Rywek can go over to the well. Skipping the bottle vendor for just a moment. I'm sure we'll see that in a sec here. Getting a 5th heart. And check what's behind the bombable wall. You know, it's another little bit of love. And a big 20.
Big 20.
Shield and the single rupee.
All right. So Rywek is kind of approaching Zora money. Not quite there yet, but we will get to see what the bottle vendor has. And it is a sword.
That's a nice find. We'll get to see what's in the cuckoo hut here. It's a big 5.
Why are you taking $5 out of the chicken lady's house?
That's all she's got. It's her life savings.
Alright, so those bottles giving us access to the sick kid who has just another piece of heart.
And a tavern chest has just 10 arrows.
Alright, so we've got a fairly sizable arsenal coming out of Kakariko Village. Not the most progression yet. We still will need to find a glove and another glove or a hammer to get to Dark World access. There's a bunch of money on the library, but we're not going to be able to get that just yet.
Rywek can go ahead and check over for the escape the maze race prize, and this is going to be a heart, so that will be the end of that. Back to his house.
All right, I imagine this will be a sharp or a South Shore check. No, he's going for nice. JCopes going for the cross product room. But yeah, Rywek is going for Eastern, and that's also perfectly fine given the current setup.
And sadly, JCopes will not get any bonus for going to the cross product room other than our Undying Glove and Adoration. Rywek gonna go ahead and skip talking to Sasrala for now. So okay, now there's
a glove.
Upgrade. Indeed. Gonna skip talking to him on the way out too. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see if JCopes talks to him, gets a little bit more info, or we're gonna have to wait till we get to Dark World before we find out where the green pendant is.
All right, so Rywek finally going into Eastern Palace. 3 possible items available here. Some of them will be outside of logic.
That is correct, unless it's a situation where the big key's in the first chest, and then, well, that's the end of that speculation.
Well, I mean,
but
if we find a lamp at any point along here, then they're no longer out of logic.
that too. I was going to say if the big key's in that first chest and the next 3 chests are all items, then they're all actually within logic.
The big key could actually be in any one of the first 3 chests for that to happen.
Yeah, correct on that, yes.
But we did find the, compass, so that is completely out the window.
And so far we've only seen 1 item, which is going to be the single rupee in chest number 2. Rywek going over to the left side now. We'll get the check and see if the big key's over here. If it's not, it is locked behind dark rooms.
The silver arrow strats in the Stolfos room there. Picking up a bomb drop he saw on the way out. And there's our big key. So if this chest is an item, Rywek could have the opportunity to gamble that the big key chest is nothing. But it's not, so never mind.
Yep, and this will be an out of logic play here because neither runner has the lamp, but at the same time, this is a fairly easy dark room to do, so
This dark room to the big key chest is pretty doable. The one in the back is a little less automatic.
Yeah, that's a little more troublesome because of the fact that you have moving parts with that you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to walk over here, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. You have to deal with the Igors as well that are moving around, and you have some anemones that are just kind of flitting around out there, doing their thing, being annoying.
So they actually have the opportunity to use my favorite strats ever in there, which is ether strats.
Ooh.
Walk in, use ether, it freezes all of the squiggly guys, and now you have a frame of reference.
That's actually a really good idea. You don't get to see that too often because I think for the most part, you usually don't see people coming in here with ether.
There's 10 bombs. The good old 10 bomb drop over in the back of his cave. Not back of his cave. The big key chest.
Room. Yes.
Big key chest. The words that we use to describe chests in this game.
There you see Rywek. We may see that. I wonder if we'll see that here. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yep, he seems to have located the right side Igor, no problem.
Actually,
and then he put a sword in the other one.
Very nice. But he actually used a really nice little strategy there. Shot the arrow into the Igor at first, which acts kind of as a moving marker, so he knows, okay, that's where the Igor is and which way it's facing. Now all I have to do is just get him to move, and as soon as that arrow starts moving again, I can open fire.
JCopes ended up having to use that red potion in the big key room because of all those. It's a little tricky to get that button trick.
Yeah, the anti-fairies are a bit of a pain in the butt.
All right.
Going into the dark room as well.
Rywek unloading 6 silver arrows on Armos Knights, takes them all down, gets a blue boomerang for his trouble, and a crystal number 4 as we recall, and that's our first crystal. 16 minutes in, seems pretty good.
Indeed, JCope going to be following right behind, using the exact same strategy that Rywek used. So both runners are through the hard dark room, and now the rest of this should be fairly easy.
All right, so the next thing I imagine is South Shore. If that's not the next place they're going, I clearly don't know how to play this game.
Well, I think good news is, Bob, you're going South Shore, so you do know how to play this game.
Good.
At least Rywek's going South Shore, so that'll count. That'll be credit for that.
There's the Quake medallion in the dam. So that's 2 out of 3 medallions. And we don't know which ones are required, but that puts you in a pretty good situation as far as dealing with Mire and Turtle Rock goes.
Yes, indeed. And for those of you playing along at home, chanting Ped Seed over and over again, just keep in mind that anything that's going to be required to complete Desert Palace can't be on pedestal, and there's a couple of possibilities for that. We just don't know yet because nobody's dipped into Desert Palace.
All right, now it's time to head to the mini Moldorm Cave. 5 chests in here. Another treasure trove of wonders, so to speak.
Ooh, get some ether
strats in mini Moldorm. I was unaware that killed them outright, but that may be something I want to put in my arsenal.
Ooh, fire rod.
Speaking of, whew.
And the lamp.
Well, would you like to set things on fire? This is the cave for you.
Indeed.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to, give you every means to do so.
This truly is Legend of Zelda. Burn everything.
And I believe Rywek just determined that the stun drop is 20 rupees.
That'll be useful to know, because if you ever have to need to, yep, it is 20 rupees. If you ever have to farm a bunch of stuff up for anything, there you go. Just stun, kill a bunch of enemies. You're good to go.
And Rywek very well could be making the fake Flipper to Zora play momentarily, and that took him up to 500.
That's an even 500 too. Not like 501 or 522.
Exactly all you need.
Yeah, exactly 500 on the nose.
JCopes is going to have to be very careful. He's down to half a heart heading over to Ice Rod Cave. Rywek making his way through the fake flipper section. I kind of like navigating with fake flippers a little more than real flippers because I don't get stopped by those shallow waters.
That's a good point. But then again...
But of course, it's a little more dangerous.
Yeah, I was going to say, real flippers, you don't... if you get hit by something, you don't soft lock the game and instantly die.
That never happens. That's never happened to anybody. I don't know what you're talking about.
And JCopes going to be making a pretty normal call here for once you've got the lift upgrade, not to mention the lantern, just going on up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's a reasonable play. And it is one of the few plays still in logic at the moment. Now, of course, you can't proceed much past the first 2 items at the moment. But perhaps that's all you need.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps there'll be something at either of these locations that will give us an idea of what progression is next. So we've got certainly possibilities here. Yeah.
And flute!
It's a choose your own adventure progression right now.
Wow, so the flute over in the waterfall cave and the book on the old man, that is pretty strange and ridiculous. Half magic on the ledge, too. Unfortunately, I don't think Rywek set it up. No, we don't have boots, so we can't even get there.
Yeah, well, if Rywek ever wants to come back and get it, can always do that. It'll be a little bit more out of the way second time around, but...
Alright, so Zora just has some bombs, and that is going to be it for that. Now, JCopes has that book and will likely be heading toward desert. We can also get a check of Agina's cave while we're at it. Now, the way I personally like to do things is go into desert first, and then leave and save and quit from Agina's cave. But I also would probably forget to go to Agina's cave, so I don't fault anybody else for doing it either way. So Rywek is now going to use the flute, activate that flute, get our swag duck going, and then
Indeed.
I imagine he might go ahead and head up to Death Mountain as well.
I would suspect that Death Mountain will be the next play here. We'll probably just flute up there. And that means that very soon here, Rywek will have the ability to read. Literacy for all. Yay! Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Okay, desert was a play.
Yeah, so we go in, you get the mirror. So I would be tempted to just go in, grab, check a couple things, and then just grab the mirror and leave and come back to Death Mountain. Whoa, Rywek is stuck inside a dead rock.
Oh. He's free now. And small key. Keep on going to the right.
Got a burrito, and we'll see what is in this last chest. Vanilla big key, so we are not boot locked out of desert.
No, sir. We are certainly able to go ahead and complete this, and I suspect that JCopes is going to do that.
Someone's saying that's technically vanilla mirror because the old man gave you the book and the mirror's on the ledge. Not quite. It's like rum raisin mirror.
And just a compass sitting on the torch, so no reason to.
Limbo has the last item.
No reason to worry about completing it. As far as completely clearing out the dungeon, don't need the boots for this.
So the question is, do you complete Landmo or not? And I think the answer is going to change depending on who you are here. If you're JCopes, you probably do. If you're Rywek, you don't. Because Rywek has the flute and can just get out.
Right. That would make sense.
But maybe not. I am not reading these guys' minds.
It's also worth noting that you're still missing an item, so perhaps the item that's on Lamola's is actually important progression.
Yeah, that is true. The mirror would only give you access to Tower of Hera at the moment. So you would not have access to more of Death Mountain. For some reason, I got overly excited. I wanted there to be more access. Getting some Silver Arrow strats on Landmo. Ooh, JCopes puts one in right at the ground level. And there we go. Cleaning up on the second cycle. Just a piece of heart, though. That gives us our red pendant.
So presumably we'll see both runners go back up to Tower of Hera here in just a moment.
And it does look like Rywek is going to peace out of the desert area.
I would assume so.
Being desert.
Yep, I think so. Some go to Mountain Cave, so JCopes and Rywek now making the very quick race up the mountain. I wonder if we'll get to see a Dark World check from either runner once they hop into this portal over here.
It's entirely possible. There it is. All right, so our pendants are at Swamp and Mire. It looked like the 6 crystal was at Skull Woods. Mire was the green pendant.
All of that is indeed correct. Can verify. And we're gonna get a ether tablet check. Yes, the arrow upgrade.
And inside Tower of Hera we go. There's our Titan's Mitt.
Very nice find. Who needs Aga anyways?
I sure don't.
I don't think either of our runners will at this point either.
But they will need to do coffee break strats because the big key is down there. Good old 22 tiles. There we go. Rywek finally gets it set up. Take a little break.
And JCopes as well, getting it set up.
JCopes may opt to actually take a death rather than mirror out here. Just once you're done, because you're on 1 heart, you might just refill your health that way.
Possible. Nope, gonna mirror out.
Taking it.
So with the knowledge of what pendants we have in Dark Roll, we can go ahead and cross off a few more possible items being on pedestal, which would include, because of Swamp Palace being there, hookshot and flippers, so those cannot be there. We can go ahead and cross off Canis Samaria as well, because of Misery Mire.
Mm-hmm. So Ice Rod could be there. And the hammer can't be there because of Swamp either.
Correct. So Ice Rod and Bombos at this point, really.
Yeah, and then like boots, if it's like necessary for GT.
I've been seeing people wanting that all week in chat, and it just hasn't happened yet. Yeah, hookshot can't be on Ped because you would need it to clear a pendant dungeon. In this case, you would actually need to clear the back half of Swamp Palace and to beat Argus, so you would be in a situation where you would be logically locked out of completion.
All right, so JCopes is now going to face off against Trolldorm. Now, let me talk about this particular Trolldorm situation. This is like vanilla fight with the fighter sword, which is kind of the worst.
Yeah, this is a developer intended plan for fighting Trolldorm, because this is normally what you would have.
And there we go. Both runners taking down Trolldorm on the first try. Or was that the second try? But we have our Titan's mitts, which means it's going to be about time to check out the Dark World.
So just a real quick rundown, since we had a couple people that missed a few of these things. Fire Rod and Lantern were
Mini
in
Moldorm.
Mini Moldorm Cave, aka the new hype cave. I see some people calling it that. Rywek's gonna go talk to Press Products as well.
Okay.
Book was on the old man. Book was on the old
that.
man. Flute is hiding out in the waterfall cave, and the mitts. One of the mitts is in Kakariko, and the other one is in Tower Hera.
Apparently, Rywek was having a little too much fun with the flute. Accidentally flew away. Now, our runners do have access to Skull Woods, and it is in fact a 5/6 crystal. It is also, 6 hearts and fighter sword, but we also just found the magic powder in there, so this is now the best possible play ever.
Always that magic powder.
All right, Jacob's heading for the back. Gonna go ahead and skip the vanilla big key chest. I think he may have found both items.
We will see here.
No, nope,
No?
just the powder.
I was gonna say, yeah. Because I don't think we've seen what's in that key chest yet. Maybe gonna check it on the way out.
I doubt we will have a... Well, we might have a ped check. Who knows? It doesn't seem like people will go for it, but maybe Jacobs will because he has one of the pendants already.
I guess you can check it too while you're here, simply because of the fact that, you know, you're here. It's knowledge. It'll take like 15 seconds, but you know, at the same
and
time,
he did go for the lumberjack knowledge when Rywek didn't, so perhaps that's his style. Alright, it's time for Moth on 6 hearts with Fighter's Sword. Blue Mail makes it a little better. Just means that you can take 6 hits from things. I think Jacobs actually used his red potion, but he still has the blue one in hand as well, so that this should be a winnable fight.
Really, the hardest part with Moxula is dealing with the moving floor and spikes at the same time. Very easy to get disoriented.
Do see that blue potion coming out, the fire rod being put to use. I was going to say good use, and then he hit a bunch of spikes with it. But there we go.
Picks up the big key off Mothula. So, to the back. And then straight back to the front, looks like here.
Yeah. He may go for the chest under the bridge. I don't think he's done that yet.
Certainly looks that way.
Getting the mirror ready. Just another small key, so nothing yet.
Yep.
And,
Pet check. So at 38 minutes, we're ready to crush everybody's dreams, apparently.
here it comes.
Prepare for disappointment, just couch cash. Wah, wah.
The most exciting debated of all time. Moving on.
That's the one thing I love about chat. They always get so hyped for ped possibility, even though it's a very low percentage, but it's always wonderful to see everyone start poking around and be like, ped, 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 ped.
I'm now imagining like the seagulls from Finding Nemo.
That's exactly what I was going for. That was the aesthetic.
Alright, both runners going for that chest. Found the second item. It's a pack of bombs. Hopefully, maybe Rywek will switch to the mirror here. Yeah. Alright, so I'm thinking we may see a check over toward the bumper cave from one of our runners. Maybe Graveyard Ledge, but it looks like Jacobs is going to head straight for Village of Outcasts.
Well, in fact, we are going to see that. We're going to see Village of Outcasts from JCopes, and then Rywek's going to go do Bumper Cave check. Yeah, he may actually go check Aga as well for the moment, since he's up here. Oh, there's the ice rod. What the heck? Chess game actually had an item.
There you go. And the ice rod is one that you really want to find. It will really throw yourself. It gives you a lot of peace of mind. Finding that ice rod, especially when you know Turtle Rock is required.
Because of the fact that it's required for such few things in the game, it's essentially possible to be in a number of locations. So just finding it gets that mentality out of your head that I have to go check everything looking for the ice rod.
Rywek is going to go for the Graveyard Ledge, which is a very out-of-the-way location that many runners opt to leave until basically last. Finds big love there. JCopes, of course, found the flippers inside Thieves Town.
Of course, because logic.
That is going to, open Ice Palace by logic.
Yes, indeed. Though there is a possibility.
Also, part of Swamp.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a possibility that even though it's open, it's not completable yet because we still need a hammer for that, and we potentially could use the hookshot unless our runners know how to do the bomb jump across the hookshot room there. It's a very tough one.
Yeah, once Rywek gets those flippers, he will know that the flute is now available in logic. Whereas JCopes is going to have to put those flippers to good use to get that flute.
We have a heart. This is the hard part. Oh, picks up a very nice powdery.
Yep, that's why powder's the best item in the game. Not even close. And it kills dead rocks, and it makes julienne fries.
Look, I'm not the one that's saying that when the ice rod enthusiasts come for you, Bob. So just just be careful. But JCopes going upstairs, open up the hole and shine a little light on the situation.
You're gonna go to Blind's dungeon and put in a structurally superfluous new skylight.
We're gonna get to see what is hiding out in Blind's chest today. It's a Master Sword.
Master Sword.
Ooh, that's nice. Boy, wouldn't it be something if the hammer was up on up on the pyramid and it was locked and you couldn't get to it and you had to go fight Aga now at 45 minutes in.
Well, you can get there with the flippers, unless you're talking about in Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy would be a possibility. That's right. I forgot that JCopes just picked up the flippers, so that is certainly a thing.
I think there's also a way you can sequence break around that without the boots, as long as you have the flippers.
Yeah, they were discussing that in chat a moment ago, and I've been informed from the discussion that it requires a very complex minor glitch to do.
Yeah, it requires mirroring at the right time in the right place, so that you can keep the bomb. Like, as long as you transition or mirror while the timer is 0 on the bomb, you will keep it.
Right.
The good news is you actually have quite a bit of time that the timer is 0.
Mm-hmm. JCopes gonna do digging game. Get to see how many digs we need for an item find here.
Rywek making use of that knowledge to get that fairy powdered there, so that we can have sword beams for the blind fight.
And it's just a big 20. Goodbye, digging game. Thank you for your time.
And JCopes is now going to do the smith chain.
Kind of wonder if we'll see him do the smith chain first, and then we don't have the hammer, so we can't do hammer pegs, but possibly we might see him take the chest all the way down, route it around with Stumpy and South of Grove Cave, Pipe Cave, all that good stuff.
We are in one of those weird situations where the magic bat is accessible without the hammer.
Correct, because
it could actually have the hammer.
That is certainly a possibility. It'll be interesting to see if JCopes goes and does that. Nope, just gonna go ahead and grab the chest for now.
You can actually take the chest into the magic bat if you fall in. And then take it out with you. But of course, you would have to skip out on these South Dark World checks. And without the hammer, it is such a pain to get back down here. It's definitely a much more preferred.
Yeah, this is a lot easier to get the routing wrapped in for everything here. Guess the bottle. So we'll probably see Stumpy next. Nope. Gotta go back to the Dark World to do that, JCopes. So grabbing Stumpy. We'll get to see Stumpy. Are you gonna let us down today? Are you gonna let us down?
I mean, he does that quite often, I find.
Yeah, well, a little bit of love at least. Not terrible.
Yeah. Stumpy, you're fired. But yeah, the next thing we might see, we could go to good old Hype Cave. We may just go ahead and turn in the chest. Yeah, it looks like Hype Cave is the plan for now. And I do expect this to culminate with a Bombos tablet check.
Correct. That is certainly within the routing possibilities. Cannon burn to start with. Okay.
All right. Ryan's here to stay.
Bug net. Ooh.
So, Cave of Minor Conveniences.
Troll Cave. Very much a troll cave tonight. Oh. So I'm trying to think about this. Is there a dungeon that has to be completed yet that requires the hookshot before going to Ganon's Tower? Any of the crystal dungeons? Because I'm thinking no.
Oh, Rywek is gonna go for the magic bat play, and the hammer is in the purple chest.
Wow. Purple chest paying off big tonight. Yeah, maybe I said is correct. Because I was thinking, if it's not required for ice, then it could be in the big chest in GT. One that nobody checks.
You mean the hookshot?
Yeah, if it's not required for ice balance.
It could theoretically be there. So there are, let's see, there are 9 chests in GT that cannot have the hookshot. They are the ones in the Stalfos room, the one in the Fire Snake room, and the 4 in Rando room. The one in the map chest you can actually bonk to.
Interesting.
And there has been a seed where the hookshot was in that chest. It is an exceedingly rare thing. But yes, for the hookshot to be in the big chest, the big key would also have to be not in one of those chests.
So theoretical worst case scenario would be hear me out here, Bob. Big keys on the torch. So you need the boots to get it. And then the hook shots in a bonkable location within GT.
Wow. I mean, that's just the one. That's the only one.
Indeed. It's the one and only, but that is the most brutal possible combination I can think of.
That's ridiculous. I do not know what the odds are of a hookshot lock dice, mainly because I still haven't quite wrapped my head around the exact rules for when hookshot is required in Ice Palace. I think it has something to do with if you can find the big key without using the hookshot, then it's locked. Or if you can find the big key and not 2 small keys.
Yeah, I think it's dependent upon key locations more than anything else, because if you have enough keys, you can just go ahead and bypass that by going to the one locked room that's on the right when you normally would make a left, and then you just go in there and grab your last 3 chests out of there.
All right. So we are getting the Pyramid Fairy play here with the access to that hammer.
Pyramid Fairy hype. Rywek's gonna have the hammer in just a moment here. Ooh, tempered sword.
Nice.
I think
That's just on the pyramid proper. We haven't even seen the inside.
Indeed. So now we get the peek inside here, and I think both runners will go ahead and grab that upgrade.
Alright, nothing great there, but JCopes is going to see what we can get for free from the Pyramid Fairy in the bottle. It's a bee.
We laugh now, but that bee is gonna win JCopes race probably, or some silly thing like that with how these seeds have been going. They use it to distract Ganon or something, I don't know.
The fairy's like, what's this? A rando seed woefully underpopulated by bees?
Rywek just found one
Some more
too.
bees. In the Mire shed.
Oh my. It's like this game knows we're gonna make these jokes and references, and it's like, well, might as well help out a little bit. Ooh. Ryrek's gonna have Gold Sword. Potentially.
Wow, yeah. Checkerboard Cave having the last sword upgrade, so sword and silver arrows will not be a problem for this seed. It's all going to be about making the right decisions. Or rather, the wrong decisions at the right time. But they're both looking to make roughly the same decisions, except Rywek's not checking the Pyramid Fairy.
Might be one of those things that we'll see him do in due time, depending on how quick we are to find the other items that we're going to need here.
All right. So we're going to check the right-hand side for some potential value. The bow, of course, giving us access.
Let's go. Right side. Clap, 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 clap. Nice.
Rywek is
Two
going to go
keys.
right up the middle. Now, it just turns out that there's two keys on the right-hand side. If Rywek decides to skip the big key chest, or then he may be able to eventually skip the right-hand side as well. Or if there's an additional small key over here. Because right now all we found is small keys. There's guaranteed to be 4, which we have seen among these chests, but there could be more. There's a burrito. And a compass.
So far, our runner's not really finding anything in Desert Palace. Not Desert Palace, Palace of Darkness. Got my palaces next up there.
So because Rywek went for the big key chest, he now has to go to the right-hand side and pick up these keys. He also should know that they're both small keys, but you'll probably pick them both up as well just because it's, convenient for routing purposes.
Yeah, the more keys you have, the happier you'll be.
Jacob's opening that wall with the bomb. And we've got the magic cape.
And of course, we know Bumper Cave doesn't have anything on it, so...
There is a small key and another small key. That means there is something in the room south of here called the Harmless Hellway. But it could be the big key or some other item.
Nope, just gonna be a little bit of love.
Alright, so there's another big heart container. That is 3 out of 5 in terms of the items in this dungeon. This is guaranteed to be the big key.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 2 items, one's in the big chest and one is on good old Helmasaur King.
Yeah, it's another heart. finding a lot of hearts here.
So I imagine that Helmasaur King will not be much of a problem for these runners. They've got a decent amount of hearts, and they've got the silver arrows to put an end to the final phase of Ganon. So Ganon, Helmasaur, also Ganon, but
Yes.
they haven't gotten there yet.
See, we're fighting the Helmasaur King right now, and Ganon is the Hamasaur King. Because bacon.
Right, that's it.
Yes. JCopes has not been up to Zora yet, so in case you're wondering why they don't have the flute and Rywek does, that is the answer.
Yeah, Rywek actually sequence broke the flute in the waterfall cave. And JCopes didn't. The main reason JCopes is because JCopes did not have the Zora money upon reaching the right hand, or reaching the Ice Rod cave. And Rywek found out that the stun drop was big 20s, so he just, farmed it up right there. Yeah, there is actually no real guarantee that the flute is required. And, I mean, we've seen 3 of the items that get you access to. There's only 2 more, and those are in Mire. And I actually wouldn't be surprised to see JCopes do something like... This is actually a pretty appealing line, actually. Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid, Catfish, Mirror. Get the Zora check taken care of, all that mess, right?
Yep, I think that's probably a good idea. Get those normally hard to reach places. You're kind of on the east side of the map anyways. It's a bit of a walk, but at the same time, it's a lot closer than having to do it from somewhere else.
You can even finish it up with a trip into Ice Palace.
That's true.
Yeah. So, it feels good. Feels like a good play. Alright, JCopes did do the pyramid play. It was Rywek that did the other play. But JCopes is gonna do the catfish play anyway. And Rywek may be doing the play I was talking about. That's what I'm thinking. I got my runners mixed up. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, we'll get the cleanup here on the east side for JCopes, and Rywek will be going on up to visit the Pyramid Fairy.
All right, let's see what the catfish has. Look what the catfish dragged in. Bomb upgrade.
One nice thing for JCopes here is that half magic's going to be available if he wants it.
Oh yeah. Free half magic. I mean, I'm not going to turn that down.
Especially since you have Ice Palace, Turtle Rock, so to go through, you may as well go ahead and pick that up. Makes both those dungeons a little bit easier to navigate through.
JCopes has exactly 502 rupees. Whew! If you consider the fact that a set of 10 bombs sells for 50 rupees, then what he's getting here is 15 rupees worth.
Well, this better be some dang good, high-quality craftsman bombs. You know, artisanal bombs. Handcrafted.
Just like high-quality explosives. Oh, did he skip the half magic?
Nope.
Okay, no,
He
I
picked
was
it
just
up.
behind. There we go.
Nah, he went ahead and picked it up, so... But Rywek's gonna go drop into Ice Palace here. And I think JCopes might be not too far behind.
So the reason Rywek didn't get the half magic the first time is because, well, he didn't have the flippers when he went up to Zora. The fake flippers for that flute. Just the burrito, or the map, in the first chest of Ice Palace. So, got a few rooms to make our way through. We're gonna probably... I imagine we will see an Ice Palace bomb jump here.
Probably.
Without that Cane of Samaria, it can be pretty necessary. Alright. So down into the Freezor room. Both runners very close here.
Indeed.
Insane.
They're in the same room. They're both trying to do the bomb jump at the same time. Are they both gonna get it? Why, yes.
Looks like it to me.
So, yes, indeed, we certainly have a race here. Oh, I think they're both trying to set up the, Oh no, Rywek.
Second bomb
Oh
jump here.
no. Oh no, that's
Oh,
unfortunate.
Yeah, this bomb jump is a little tricky. The
JCopes
real
getting it.
trick, yeah. The way I've learned to set it up is you can use your sword spin to sort of put you on the last pixel down, then just face left and drop the bomb.
So it looks like Rywek's at least taking a moment here to just kind of maybe think about what to do next, recollect his thoughts.
Yeah, go through the through some electrolysis and lose some of that salt.
Well, too, the other thing might be if he's thinking, okay, can I go do something else instead of having to go back through Ice Palace right now? And the answer to that is no, you still need that Kansas Maria. And it might still be hiding somewhere in here, so press on again. We're seeing JCope make the walk back through the locked doors. And Rywek getting the bomb jump again. So hopefully here we will get to see Rywek make it across that room again. This time hopefully... Oh, he's gonna get a fairy, so that will be helpful. Doesn't have... Oh, there's the hook shot. There it is.
Wow. That is an unfortunate location for it, but a perfectly valid location as well. Little does everyone know, it's actually not necessary to have any sort of item other than just basic access to Ice Palace to get to Ice Tea Room.
Yep. In fact, Rywek could have gone... Just fell into the room that JCopes was... Yeah, you come into after you do this. And could have just gone south, gone down the stairs, gone into Ice Tea Room and found the hook shot. But unfortunately, he doesn't know that. He's trying to set it up. I think he's a little too far over. It's gotta be... Uh-oh. And there's a... Oh, he got it that time. Good. Good to see.
Yeah. The main problem that Rywek had last time is he just entered the room with way too little health.
Indeed.
Whoa, JCopes just destroying Cold Stare with a bunch of fire rod shots. Completely unashamed to use that fire rod to just knock the snot out of them.
I'm sorry, Bob. I see JCopes has a crystal. Was there a boss fight that I just missed or something?
Well, if you blinked, you might have had some issues there. Now, here's the fun part. If you are JCopes, basically what we can do now is head up to Death Mountain and get all the things.
Indeed. Check everything.
Because we did not at any point see the Paradox Cave check, this is gonna be like the latest Paradox Cave I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, hour and 15 minutes. I would have to agree. But actually, we're gonna get a moment here. If everyone would please rise, remove their hats for the Swag National Anthem. Thank you very much.
All right. Here comes good old Swag Duck on the left-hand side. Much later than on the right-hand side, that sequence break giving Rywek access to the flute.
You may be seated, and Rywek, what are you doing? Very interesting here.
Yeah, I think he was going for more magic.
Oh no, he's gonna go fight Cold Stare. He did not check that chest. He doesn't have the hookshot.
What?
Yeah, he
No.
skipped Ice Tea Room.
Oh, that's the worst.
I think he may very well have just lost track of it. It's certainly possible to lose track of that one item.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to be mean or presumptive, but I think he may have well just, like, lost this race. Unless he heads back in immediately.
So at the moment, just for JCopes to get into go mode, just need to find that can of Samaria. Possibly boots, but that's only situational depending on if the Gan's Tower Big Key is boots locked. It may very well not be. In fact, the odds are probably against that. And no, Rywek has simply, I believe, forgotten about Ice Tea Room. And we'll be going to start to do the checks of Death Mountain.
Yeah, the hookshot is in fact in the Ice Tea Room in Ice Palace. There is nothing that prevents anyone who enters Ice Palace with any configuration of items, provided you can get in the front door, from getting there.
Jacob's actually going to go check some of the Mire area stuff, I think. Yeah, Quake Medallion to get in. We'll be doing Mire Shed.
Yeah. So he's got to do Turtle Rock at some point, but I imagine he's going over here looking for the cane, so that he could just go to Turtle Rock instead of having to do all these Death Mountain checks.
I believe so.
But he is going to get the Butter Sword. I would be incredibly surprised to see him go into Mire.
Yeah, I think maybe just the check is for knowledge. You know, hey, I know this is here.
Alright, so JCopes is now heading up to Death Mountain. We'll finally get to see these checks. I imagine he'll head to Paradox Cave via the hookshot direction.
Presumably, it's the easier location to check. And Rywek is setting up the Paradox Cave into immediate Super Bunny Cave.
JCopes is just going straight for Super Bunny. I imagine hoping that he finds the Cane of Samaria in here.
Got Fire Shield.
Rywek's gonna catch one of those fairies that just dropped. And turns out Paradox Cave, not the most useful cave today. So although it was not checked early, it also turns out to not matter.
And second moment of truth right now. Jacob's going to check Hookshot Cave. If Candace Samaria is in one of these chests, one of these back chests specifically, that's going to be incredibly painful. Could be in this last one, or maybe it's somewhere else. Yeah, it's somewhere else. So Hookshot Cave, kind of a wash.
Have we seen the floating island yet?
I don't believe so.
We'll also need to see what is the medallion for Turtle Rock. It is also going to be Ether.
And just a 5-bomb upgrade up on top of Floating Island.
Wait, did JCopes somehow check Paradox Cave at some point? And I not notice it?
I don't think so.
I think you figured it out. There we go.
I believe Rywek has already checked Spiral Cave for those asking in chat, and
Yeah,
it
Rywek
was
did check
nothing.
Spiral Cave. Speaking of caves, Rywek is going to go ahead and check Spike Cave, it looks like.
Yeah, Kane possibility could also be in the back half of Swamp, and that would also be kind of a really bad place for it to be right now for Rywek.
Yeah. Front half of Swamp might be his best hope. Well, I take that back. Because if it's front half of Swamp, he'll go to GT looking for the hookshot.
Indeed, and it will not be there.
Though if he thinks the hookshot can't be in ice because it's locked, then he would also think that it can't be in GT. Because you would need the hookshot by logic to complete ice. Rywek is going to Swamp right now. Alright, so the Swamp play is live. So there we go. JCopes is now finished checking some of these Light World areas, or Light World Death Mountain areas. Paradox Cave. Rywek finding just a big hardened swamp. Looks like JCopes is going to be right behind Rywek heading into Swamp.
So far, still have not seen that Candace Samaria, so definitely looking for it. JCopes has many more locations he can check than Rywek, so.
And there's the compass in its vanilla chest in Swamp. That means Rywek will now be heading over to the left side of Swamp, while JCopes heads in with the hookshot, maybe checking right side or back side first, depending on how you decide to route this.
Yeah, certainly not over, even though Rywek does not have that hookshot. Certainly not over by any chance, because until we've got one of our runners in go mode, you never know. Jay could end up getting something that leads him in, maybe he finds something in the back of Swamp that leads him on a fetch quest or something that sends him in the wrong direction.
Alright, so JCopes is going to grab the small key off the hookshot location in the center room. Going to go grab the compass chest, and we'll see what he finds in the back here.
And it's a compass.
There's the map on the left-hand side, and Rywek, of course, not having that hookshot, is going to have to take the double fall approach to the right-hand side, or to the left-hand side of Swamp. And JCopes is taking care of the back. So it turns out the Cane of Samaria is here on the left side of Swamp. That could give Rywek a slight head start. But he's got to find that hookshot. Or I guess the boots and learn how to hover real fast.
Just have to call Andy up and be like, Andy, tell me how to hover. Alright, well, I don't think we've seen Big Key yet, have we?
We have not.
So Big Key's in one of these two chests. There's something in the Big Key. The big chest. Oh,
There's
no.
the Cane of Samaria in the waterfall room. And that's go mode for JCopes.
Yeah, yep, at 1 hour, 28 minutes, and about almost 128 flat, finding the Cane of Samaria. No, that's not a good sign for Rywek. Rywek will be going up to check Catfish here. Has not done that yet, so let's probably start to double back and check some of the places that have been skipped so far, but overlooking the one location that he hasn't checked in Ice Palace, and unfortunately that's the key to everything right now.
Yeah, we'll have to find out if that was a calculated thing or if he just completely forgot. It is possible it was either way. I guess it's not technically go mode.
Yeah, technically not, but very close to go mode if it isn't.
And I mean, at this point, you would be playing as if you were in go mode.
Correct.
Alright, so JCopes is now heading to the Back of Turtle Rock, we'll see how many chests we have to open here. Hopefully not too many. There's the Bombos medallion.
Yes, Bombos. You were the most important medallion. That's why we put you in a dungeon where you're not needed.
So, we're guaranteed to find at least one small key in these two chests up here. Possibly two. Nope, a small and a big.
Rywek is going to make the Desert Palace play now. Yeah, Rywek died in Ice Palace, had to go back, and that may have caused them to miss the iced tea chest. It may have been a calculated decision to skip that, but whatever the reason, it turns out that was not the correct decision to make. And JCopes going down.
I think he has a
Oh,
fairy.
fairy. Yes, got a fairy though. And boy, the chain shot room once again takes a big bite
Okay, so
out of runner.
we are being told that on Rywek's stream, he does have one item still left in Ice Palace on his tracker. So, it could be he is well aware that there's still an item there, but he decided to leave it, hoping it wouldn't be anything important.
Yeah, decided to play the odds, and unfortunately, that was not the play to make tonight. If that's the case, that's part of Rando. Is sometimes you gotta take a gamble, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it does not work at all.
JCopes is just loading up on fairies. That is what we call peace of mind in a bunch of bottles. Oh, Rywek is going back into ice. Maybe.
Yep, definitely going back into ice now.
This will be Rywek making a beeline for iced tea room, which I imagine means there won't be a bomb jump this time.
Probably not.
It's a little faster to not bomb jump if that's where you're headed. JCopes now sporting the full item menu.
Indeed, every single spot is filled by something. And we're working our way to getting that full tracker.
See a lot of people gearing up for the guessing game with some subscriptions and/or bits.
Indeed.
That will begin after JCopes picks up his 7th crystal. It will happen here on Trinex, and with that small key he picked up before, and it was either in the big chest or the crystal roller. He should be heading directly there.
Yeah, I would assume that he's just gonna go straight there. No reason to stop for anything. Maybe stop for a fairy. Oh, no. Oh, wait, he's got fairies. Okay.
Yeah, he picked up a million fairies.
That's right. He picked up a whole bunch in that room with all the fairies. And Rywek getting the unfortunate news that indeed that is the hookshot.
JCopes is getting that ice rod out, ready to down some Trinets. Three hits with the butter sword to take down each head. That's really fast opening. The one cycle Trinex.
Nicely done on the second phase fight. Brings Trinex right down to the ground.
Unfortunately, Rywek will now be heading up to the Turtle Rock area, looking into Hookshot Cave for that cane, having already been into Swamp once.
Makes sense though. If Kane's hiding out in Hookshot Cave, then you can just go right over to Turtle Rock. If it's not, oh well. Go keep checking things.
Well, there's our big key game.
Indeed, so remember there's a number of locations. It can be 22 to be precise. So number 1 through 22 in the chat. And if you're the first or closest guest and you're a sub or you've cheered 250 total bits, you will get to be on the leaderboard.
And that's for any of the speed gaming channels. So we're going to cut this off pretty soon.
Indeed. Red mail and mushroom.
Oh boy.
Well, I guess we'll find out very soon here. Is your wish fulfilled, chat? Nope. Just a small key.
Just a small key on the torch.
So we are indeed in full-blown go mode. Mushroom to big key. This isn't key sanity.
There's the mirror shield. 50 more rupees. Another small key. And a compass.
So, thinking about this, Bob, is there a situation where, because of key placement, you can actually run out of keys and have to go get the boots to get that key off the torch?
Yes. And there's a chance we're in that situation. But he would have to use the key on the middle door, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Rywek is unfortunately heading into Misery Mire. Now, having seen 3 small keys in the first few areas, we now know that the tile room could have the big key.
That would be fun. Aww.
But it's right there. So that is going to be number 12, I believe.
Good old number 12. Finally. Yes. I'm happy about that. I always guessed 12. And congrats to Little Miss Priestley for also guessing 12 and being the first one to do it. So you will get to be on the leaderboard.
And Jacob's now heading up Ganon's Tower. We'll be heading through the gauntlet shortly. A few silver arrows to take down these mimics. One nice thing about having the mirror shield now is that you can deflect those projectiles that the mimics shoot. So you can just kind of stare right at them and shoot.
Indeed. Don't really have to worry too much about them. You can kind of stare them, like, as you said, Bob, stare them straight in the face, line your shot up, make it nice and easy. You got plenty of arrows too, so it's not really too much of a hassle. Jacob's now into the gauntlet.
Jacobs is applying liberal use of the fire rod to destroy basically everything that, you know, breathes and moves, or I guess in the case of the skeletons, doesn't breathe.
Rattles about. Very quick work of the first 3 rooms. There's a very nice pattern there on room number 4. And in the final slippery ice room. Nicely done.
He may want to get a little more magic, because it's going to be kind of hard to get the next few rooms done without it. Ooh, there were some interesting little graphical glitches there.
I was about to say, there's suddenly multiple Amolas. Now the satisfying room. Just boom, one shot him.
Oh man, bootless gauntlet feels weird.
You just feel so slow.
Jacobs is going to have plenty of magic to pull this room off. You may want to go refill before the next room there. Jacob's down to 1 heart, but he does have plenty of fairies in tow.
As long as he can get past this room, he'll be okay. And he's good.
Yep, he's gonna go ahead and powder the fairies in the next room. I don't imagine there's any reason to check any chests from here on out.
Indeed. Oh. Trolldorm being Trolldorm just bops him off right at the start.
Rywek will finally be heading back into Swamp to pick up that cane. This really has been Rywek's series of unfortunate events today.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And we now head over to the geometry wizard himself, Aghanim 2.
Hope you remembered your math lessons, guys.
See, I am fully I fully believe that physics does not apply here. There's this whole angle of incidence, angle of reflection thing. I don't think it applies here.
You can tell me that a Super Nintendo game made in 1991 doesn't do complex mathematical equations?
I mean, it's got an arc variable.
And there goes Aga 2. Very quickly done.
And JCopes will now be facing off against Ganon. This will be a pretty straightforward fight with plenty of fairies on hand. Rywek, I imagine, did go ahead and pick up that cane.
Indeed, picking up the cane in go mode now. Gonna hit up T-Rock. On to phase 3.
JCopes is going for the record for most hits on Ganon in phase 3.
Did you find arrows in Light World? I believe we did. Getting a double, one for a triple. Didn't get it, but
This will just be one as well.
yep.
We should be able to get another one here, and that'll do it.
Yes, indeed. JCopes will be finishing up here soon. We'll get you an official time as soon as he walks through that door.
There we go. JCopes4Life finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 41 seconds. Well played to JCopes.
Indeed, that was very well executed throughout. Fairly clean. So, not really surprised that he ran such a fast time on this, considering where some of these item placements were.
I think the boots are in Mimic Cave. Just throwing that one out there. Alright, so let's see if we can get JCopes in here to talk about this particular abomination of a seed.
Indeed. We'll be getting him in here in just a moment.
He'll need a second, but he'll be here pretty soon. And we are now joined by our winner, JCopes4Life. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Sounds. It was a pretty interesting race. So it looks like your opponent did kind of throw in the towel just now.
It would appear as if
Yep.
unfortunate, but I don't know his situation, so
Well, he skipped iced tea room.
oh no. That's not good at all.
No.
No.
So that means he didn't find Kane either.
Yeah. So he basically had hookshot at the very last moment, and he had already gone into swamp, so he saved swamp again for the last. So he was picking up the Cane of Samaria roughly when you were fighting Moldorm 2 or something.
Indeed. So yeah, I'm quite a bit behind, unfortunately.
Yeah, I must say that was a pretty trolly spot for the cane. I was even on my way to grab it, then I realized I didn't do any Paradox Cave or any of that. Hour and a half in, haven't done it. That's new to me.
Yeah, so so that was pretty nice. Finding your go mode item in a pendant dungeon and still that early along. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, all things considered, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been left side or on Argus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could
Yeah,
have
so we
been.
had some very nice progression here. This seed kind of strung you guys along in the light world for a long time. You had to go through all 3 light world dungeons before you could really access the dark world.
I was thinking, I was like, am I gonna have to do Aghanim next at this rate? Is that what it's leading me to? But luckily the gold glove was in basement to Hera, but yeah, it definitely felt a little vanilla-y.
Yeah, not only all 3 light world dungeons, but all 3 light world dungeons in their original order. It's kind of ridiculous. It looks like Rywek is going to go ahead and come talk to us, though, about this seed. So that makes sense. It does make sense that he'd want to be done with this seed, but it also makes sense that it's very nice that he's willing to come talk about it as well.
Yes, indeed.
So 4-1 now, JCopes. Just 1 win away from that guaranteed bracket spot. But of course, you're going to have to go through some formidable opponents to pull this off. Is there anybody you are hoping to meet or avoid next round?
Well, I do a lot of skirmishes with a couple buddies, so I'm hoping I get to play them next week. But I know it's probably not going to happen. No, I'm indifferent to who I face. Preferably a stronger opponent, because then if I do lose, I can learn from it.
1-3.
I learn from each race anyway, or attempt to, but
That is.
it gives me more of a baseline to see where I can improve on.
All right. Let's see.
So let's see here. How'd you feel about the start there without what was I gonna ask? I was gonna ask something I forgot. But finding that early Titans mid up in Tower of Hera, did that kind of make you think, okay, maybe this is gonna be a faster seed than I thought?
I did anticipate it being a quicker seed. Not at that point, but seeing Mire and Swamp as pendants threw me in that direction a little bit.
Yeah, not having to do some of the slower dungeons can really help you out there. Of course, you still ended up having to go into Swamp, but at least you didn't have to do left side.
That is true. It was a toss-up between Swamp and Mire, but 6-2. I think it was a pretty fair choice going to Swamp.
Yeah. I mean, you could make the argument that it was 6-3 on account of the green pendant, but either way, it's still pretty good.
Yes and no. I mean, for Kane, like the green.
Oh yeah,
pendant-
you're right.
Yeah.
Kane, I'm dumb. You're absolutely right. The cane cannot be at the green pendant.
If it was, there's somebody's gonna need to figure that out.
Yeah. This is what happens when I sit here and armchair play instead of actually play.
Yeah, I think I tied my record for bonks too this seed.
All right, it does look like
Mhm.
Rywek is going to have is not going to be able to make it. The mic's not working, so that's going to do it for this match. So is there anything else you'd like to tell everybody before we sign off, JCopes?
I just want to give them all my thanks for watching. Thank you guys for volunteering on this race.
No problem. Thank you for running it.
All right. So thank you once again to both of our runners, JCopes4Life and Rywek, for putting on such a good show today. I'd like to thank Ninbon, who was our tracker, taking care of all of the icons you see on the screen to keep everyone apprised of the action. And of course, thank you to my co-commentator, Nihon Tiger. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure as well, Bob. Thank you very much.
Yes, and if you appreciate what you saw here today, the best way to support the people involved is to give them a follow here on Twitch, and I'm sure we would all appreciate it. So with that, I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I'm Nihon Tiger. Good night. Good luck. Good RNG. Catch you guys later.
See you later.